Hey, everyone, the Brandy Johnson here with this installment of Woke Wednesday Live. I have my special guest with me. Her name is Anntoinettemarie Williams. She is an international trainer and speaker, as well as a award-winning author, and she is also the CEO and founder of To Lead. So go ahead and say hello, Miss Anntoinettemarie.
Hello, greetings to everyone. This is such a fantastic day. Thank you, Brandy, for having me to come on to your wonderful platform. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Fantastic. Tag somebody right now. Tag somebody.
Absolutely. Emily Nicole says, hey, Sister Queen, how are you today?
Hey, Emily.
So, if you guys are joining us live, be sure to show us some love by sharing this live. I'm actually getting ready to jump on now and make sure I have tagged Antoinette Marie so she can, and her group, of course. And
Yes, please.
we can make sure everybody can put eyes on the topic today. And today's topic is actually consistency. So
Consistency.
um, to get anywhere useful in life, you need to commit and you need to become consistent. So we're going
Hmm.
to go over some of the ways to do that. Some of the things to focus on to help you smash consistency and level up in a major way. And thank you, Emily. Definitely, Brother King, join us if you are available. So,
Absolutely.
so I'm gonna let you start with the definition
Okay.
of consistency while I do this tagging.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things about consistency, let's just talk a little bit first about what it is. So, the achievement of a level of performance that does not vary greatly in quality over time. And I think that that's so apropos because, and when you are consistent, that means that you first have to have a goal. You have to know what your goal is, whether that is, and create a goal. Sometimes we don't even have goals on things that we're trying to be productive in. And so when we think about the word consistency, the achievement of a level of performance that does not vary greatly in quality over time.
Absolutely. And that definition that we just went over is actually provided by the following source, which is lexico.com. And that's where I love to get my definitions because that's like actually the website for like the Oxford Dictionary. So whenever I'm confused, that's my go to.
And we know that that's a good goal too. That's a really good goal too.
Most definitely. So, of course, we have ourselves a quote here provided by the lovely Antoinette-Marie Williams. And part of courage is simple consistency. And that is a quote by Peggy Noonan.
Yeah, absolutely. So Peggy Noonan was actual a speech writer for several presidents. And so one of the things that she always tries to characterize when it comes to being consistent, I can just imagine how many speeches she had to write. And, when you're doing anything great, sometimes it can be a little bit cumbersome. But
Mm-hmm.
stay steady. That's another thing. If you sometimes having a little bit of an issue concerning like really what is consistency, just think about steadiness. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to stay steady. I'm going to stay steadfast. I'm going to have stability. Just stay consistent. Consistency does not mean perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you're steady, that your eye is on the prize or your eye is on a goal. And no matter what comes in, you're going to continue to keep the goal in your mind and you're going to continue to maintain your steadiness in it. One of the things I recall hearing somebody say that sometimes when you may be in a boat, don't get out of the boat, which means don't change your goal. You don't have to change your goal. Stay consistent with the goal. Don't get out of the boat. Sometimes you may have to turn a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
But your goal is to get to the other side of the island, i.e., your goal is to achieve and be profitable at this particular project, or your goal is to make sure you have 20 vacation days. Don't leave the job if you work a secular job. Stay consistent. Continue to go to work. Continue to do your projects. Don't get off the boat. just steady it. Sometimes you have to steady it. I know I talk with my hands like
Hands, body, feet, whatever. So I will say, consistency was something that was one of my cruxes when I first started my success journey. So I found it hard to be consistent because I'm one of those people that like I like to call it shiny object syndrome. So I'd be well on my way. Either I'd start reading a good book, or I'd find a new motivational speaker or something to listen to, or a series of books, and I'd be well into that, and then ooh, look at this program over here, and I'd forget what I was already doing. But when I finally stopped myself, right, and realized like I started understanding the importance of the compound effect, and the book by Jeff Olson. I forget what it's called right now. If y'all are on here and you know which book I'm talking about, I think what's the book by Jeff Olson, y'all? I know y'all know, but oh, got it. The Slight Edge. So when I started actually comprehending the terminology, what was actually being said in that book, it helped my life immensely because I was
Mhm.
like, okay, focus on one thing at a time. And I remember
Mhm.
the first thing that I started with was completing a book, whether I was physically reading the book or listening to the book. I focused on one book at a time. So
Mhm. Mhm. That's
little
really
things like
good,
that
Brandy.
build. Little things like
Yeah.
that build.
Absolutely. And, one of the things I always say to individuals that I coach is that when you stay consistent, your consistency will create a habit. When you have habits, that's something that you do over and over again. And so a lot of speakers, they know this, and particularly in training, when you do something consistently for a minimum of 21 times, it becomes a habit. And so, Brandy, I totally understand what you're talking about because there's so much information that's out here, really great information. So just kind of like, I like the way that you said it. You called it like a new coin, or that you kind
Shiny
of
object
wanted.
syndrome.
Yeah, I love that, because there's so much good information out here. But this is what pulls you back in. What was your goal?
Mm,
What was the goal that you set? And so when you can be consistent and remain steady and knowing that the goal that you want to set, and many times you also, with that, it's easy to set a goal. Sometimes it's not as easy to become consistent with that particular goal. But then that means also you need to get motivated. So a lot of times we don't like to tell people, "Oh, I have a goal to do this." Why? Why don't we want to tell people? Because we don't want to fail.
anybody, well, on top of that, we don't want anybody saying, "Oh, that's unrealistic. You can't do that." So we keep it to ourselves, or we find networks such as our the ones that we've established to be like, "Hey, this is my goal," and 9 times out of 10, we're gonna be like, "Go for it."
Yeah, absolutely. I say this is never, the time that we are living in now. You can't do anything fantastically great by yourself. Solitude is not a great time to be trying to do anything huge and great. You have to have partnership. You have to collaborate. And so, along with that motivation, what comes next is accountability.
Mm,
So a lot of my clients, they utilize me and I support them as their accountability coach. If they have set a goal, one of the things I say, okay, give me your timeline. So if you want to write a book within the next 90 days, okay, we're going to set some timelines. That is your timeline for that. And then you have to go into, okay, how do I change the way I think? How do I change the way I think about the goal that I am that I have established, but also about who I'm going to help motivate me, my accountability process, and my accountability partner. And once you can create and change the way that you actually think about your goal and become successful in that, everything else in your life will just open up, because consistency is not just in one area of your life. Consistency is a part of your life. It becomes a habit.
absolutely, most definitely, and that's again something that I had to learn. And a lot of people used to get frustrated at the fact that like I was so hard headed. But that is the beauty of plugging in to multiple resources, not all at once. You need to make sure you're doing one thing at a time. But I will say, um, there weren't very many people directly in my life that could give me the information that I needed in order to excel in the area of things I'm meant to excel. Like
Hmm.
entrepreneurship, authorship, and stuff like that is not something that's common in my family, so to speak. So I
Hmm.
had to go out there and figure it out myself, but I didn't understand that there was something other than what I was being told out there to learn.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I had no idea. I kind of fell into it due to network marketing, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found this area of things.
Hmm. And that's the thing, kind of like just with what you were saying, you know, when we have individuals that hold us accountable, even being consistent, that's huge. If someone, I always say this to individuals, if you care about me and you see that I am either getting ready to fall, or falling, and you say nothing, that means you do not care. And
Hmm.
so when you see individuals that have set a goal and then all of a sudden they change over, like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Sometimes that's okay, because sometimes you'll see yourself and you're like, that's not the goal that I needed to set. Sometimes we set goals out of just pure emotion. We
Yes.
just we just set a goal, and we don't even think about, like, is that really what I'm supposed to be? That's why it's so important to change your process of thinking and your mindset,
Hmm.
because when you start to change the way you think and your mindset, you won't set these unrealistic goals. And I'll give you an unrealistic goal. An unrealistic goal is somebody saying, okay, I'm going to lose 25 pounds in 1 week. And you're going to the Bahamas. You're not getting ready to lose 25 pounds in a week. Not
Not
in a
healthy.
not healthy.
But I absolutely understand that too. Uh, I will say when I first started believing that I could do bigger, better things with the life that I've been given, I found myself often like setting the same types of goals as everybody around me. And
Oh,
when I finally got to a point, I was like, that's not something I'm actually interested in. But I was trying to figure out, I didn't understand that like I have to define what success looks like in my life. I have to define what makes me feel accomplished, what makes
yes,
me feel as if I'm having the impact I know I can have. And that's
yes,
when my goals started making more sense. That's when my goals started flourishing, so to speak. And
right.
I'm like beyond excited to finally realize that and fully embrace that in my own life because like I'm so like humbled and happy that what I'm learning, what I know about myself will allow me to impact many people in a very positive way over time. But
Absolutely. Wow, Brandy. I mean, what you just said, I really believe just helped so many people right there. That is so powerful, such a powerful statement of you saying that because you were around some individuals that were of the same like-mindedness, that you started seeing that they were doing this, but that wasn't really where you wanted to be. That really wasn't your gift. That really wasn't where you felt like seamlessly I can make a fantastic impact. And that's so great about life, is that when you are consistent with yourself, mm, when you are consistent with yourself. So sometimes you'll see people moving to the left, but it doesn't always mean you have to move with them.
mm, say that again.
Mm, mm, mm.
And anybody, if you are in this room to tell you what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it, like no, the first thing that anyone that truly cares about what you want to do, we're going to go out of our way to understand like what do you see yourself doing? How can
Yeah,
we contribute to helping you get there rather than change your mind to shift you in a direction we think you should go in? Who are we to
Right.
tell you where you should be going in your life?
That is exactly right. And unfortunately, many times, whether leaders, emerging leaders, or influencers, whomever, unfortunately, many times individuals will be aware of individuals that will try to make you turn every time they turn. You
Mm,
have a life of your own. You have gifts that you have been given by our great creator. So it's not when I move, you move just like that. I know y'all remember that song. I know. When I move, you move just like that. No, that's not always the situation. So it's paramount that you really take that time to understand who you are as an individual, individual. You're not the same, because if you and I are the same, one of us is not needed. One
mm.
of us is not necessary. If everything that I do it just the same way that you want me to do it, I do it with the same type of shoes on, I wear just what you wear. God is not looking for clones,
Mm.
individuals. And so that's that's very important. And I think the other thing is that sometimes whenever we want to remain consistent, we got to take some of this emotion, this feelings out. So I remember one time, one of my children was like, oh, I want to do this. And then all of a sudden they came back and they said, but I feel like I should do this. Sometimes, our feelings are funny. You'll feel like this. You'll feel like, exercising, and then in 10 minutes, you still find yourself still watching television. I don't feel like it anymore. Well, no wonder you don't feel like it, because you haven't changed your mindset on what you're supposed to be doing, your goal. So feelings are a real interesting characteristic and emotion. Sometimes, many times, they are not as accurate as we would like for them to be.
Absolutely. But that brings us back to your point earlier. Uh when you don't feel like doing it, that's why it's very, very important. Like when you decide you want to lose the weight, you decide that in order to lose the weight, you need to take your rear into the gym, whether it's every day, it should probably be every day, even if it's for half an hour. Um, but
Mhm.
you don't realize when you commit and just do it for 21 days, it becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, whether you feel like doing it or not, you're going to automatically go ahead and start doing it. When you just commit it to your subconscious and just go ahead and do it, you also free up mental space to be thinking about other things that you want to accomplish. So,
Which is called growth. Which is called growth. Go ahead on, the Brandy Johnson. That is so fantastic, because with being consistent and having consistency, you're always going to have something that's going to come in. If you know that, for example, so if I wake up in the morning every single day at 5 o'clock, so with me, I don't even have to set an alarm. My body is trained now to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So if I know from 5 o'clock to 5:30, I meditate. You have you have to don't schedule an appointment in that time.
mhm.
Don't make an excuse, because that's what we start doing. We start to making an excuse, or whether it's the kids. Well, I'm not going to do meditation today just because of this. You have to remain consistent, and unexpected hurdles are going to come. I guarantee you, as soon as you set a goal, you're going to get somebody on your social media feed. They're going to be like, oh, can you schedule me in an appointment? And let's say you've decided to do something, whether it's goal setting or whatever it is, at 2 o'clock p.m. Oh, you have to learn to say, I already have a very important appointment at 2 o'clock. But can I schedule you in at 3 o'clock? How about that? Be true to
Yes.
thy own self.
Yes. Emily says yes, 100%. So I absolutely love that. We lost Emily for a little bit. She said, sorry, lost signal. Girl, you know it's all good. Still
Absolutely.
have
So just remember that, when you set goals or whatever it's going to be, expect the unexpected, because it will happen. They will come, but you have to remain, again, stay the course, stay on it. You just have to remain. And a lot of times, even your family may not understand. Like, why are you doing
Oh,
this?
man.
Why are you doing that? You just say, you know what? Here's my goal. And you can't always tell people your goal either. If they're going to be, in unity with you. And here's the thing about consistency and unity. You can be the same. You can have the same goal or have the same mindset or like mindedness when it comes to thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have to be the same exact person. So you can have unity and still be two individuals.
Yes.
You don't have to be the same exact. I'm going to do the exact thing that person does. I'm going to speak the same way that person speaks. I'm going I'm going to wear the same things. I'm going to shop at the same. I'm going to push my hair back like Miss Anntoinettemarie. I'm going to do all. But beloved, we are two different people. And the greatness about consistency is you be consistent in what you're consistently great at. Let
Mm,
me be consistent at what I'm consistently really great at. And then that's when you can have your greatness and my greatness. We come together and bam, we have what we're doing right now.
absolutely. And the crazy thing is, I'm always working on myself, always working on myself. And in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, because I do so many things. I repair computers, I connect people to people. I'm an author. I'm writing another book. There's so many things that I do. I'm like, how do you define all that? And I simply came up with the word I am a connector. That's what I do. Like, you need a computer, I got you. You need a mentor, I have several to plug in with. You need somebody to work on your website, I got you. You need somebody to help you publish and edit a book, I got you. And it took me a long time to just say, I do this, and it's just multifaceted.
Mm-hmm,
So I
mm-hmm,
am
mm-hmm.
the Brandy Johnson connector. I have several resources, tools. I love to help people. I like to share. I love to share books that I read that have helped me. I love so many things. And above all else, I love sharing those things and helping people to achieve the mindset that has set me free.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That is so powerful. So I wrote those things down, like you are a connector, and everything that you have done, it's not something that somebody has told you, you've lived it. So those things that you are able to be a resource, because that's what I kept hearing as you were explaining it, you are a fantastic resource for individuals that are trying to advance themselves from one level to the next level. And you know where your cap is on your levelship.
Yeah.
Levelship may not even be a word, but I just made it up. So let's roll with it. So you know where how much you have to give, how much you have in your own self, in your own reservoir that has been stored up already. So you are a connector. And I think that's so powerful because everything that you said, you do. Like other day, I was sitting and I was like, okay, yesterday actually, and I had did a Facebook live and I was like, Brandy, it's like to me, you are the resourceful guru. Like you know a lot about a lot of things. And a lot of people have that capability. And the reason why I think that you do know a lot is because you've been consistent and very in many different areas. And
Hmm.
everybody can't always do that. Some people just have to focus on one particular thing, and that's not a bad thing. And for people that can multitask. Um, they can focus on, when I say focus, I mean have their mindset in that space that they have about different things. When and you know this already as an entrepreneur, you can't just say, I'm just going to concentrate on finances for the
Hmm.
whole month and you have no content.
Yes.
Well, you can't you have to be consistent and say in your calendar throughout the day or throughout the week, from this time to this time I'm going to concentrate on finances, from this time to this time I'm going to concentrate on my content, my PR, whatever it is. So you are so consistent, the Brandy Johnson.
Emily says resource 100, 100, 100. And that's
Absolutely.
all up to me. Wow, just freaking wow. Like where I was 4 years ago versus right now, like you couldn't have told me that I would be this open minded, this confident, disable to basically plug in, learn new stuff quickly, basically determined and be okay with saying, um, that's not my forte. I'm not able to understand
Mm-hmm.
this. This is not something that interests me. I gotta, what else you got for me that I can try and help with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the great thing about what you do, Brandy, is that you tell people that, but then you come back and here's like I call it the whiffum. Here is the aspect you may say, I can't help you in that area, or I'm not very I don't know a whole lot about that area, but I can refer you to someone.
Yes.
That's powerful. That's powerful for somebody to say, know how much they have stored up within themselves versus trying to come and scramble. Let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. No, I don't really know a whole lot about this, but I
Mm,
do have somebody that does know, and he or she is in my tribe or my circle or in my group of connectors. And let me refer you to him or her and feel good about that and not feeling like you just lost the coin. If the
mm-hmm.
coin is always on your mind, you're going to continue to chase a coin. And paper is always better than coin any day.
Say that again. I'm still getting my paper game in order, but that's one of those that I'm very comfortable saying. Like, I don't know what I need to know about that side of things yet, and so I have coaches. My coaches are Doc and Winter Bobo, and I
Hmm.
love what I'm learning. I'm actually going to be reviewing the book that I recently finished of theirs, but I'm perfectly like, I'm gonna tell you just like this. My biggest growth spurt started coming after I admitted that it's okay to say when I don't know something.
Say
When
that
I
again, Brandy.
learned
No,
how
no.
to say that, when I learned how to say I don't know, it then opened my mind
Yes.
to learning. But if I say I know, knowing very well I don't, and nod and smile and hope you don't ask me no important questions about that.
You did that so good. You did that really, really good. And so many people, individuals, professionals, everyday life, we pretend. We pretend like we know something that we darn well know. We don't have the resources. We have never heard of the word. We've never heard of the goal. We don't believe in achieving that goal. But then we go because somebody sprinkles a little bit of maybe coins, and we're like, okay, yeah, I can do it. I can learn it, so on and so forth. And that is actually, it means that you're not being authentic to yourself.
Mm,
The main thing is in this life that we live as we continue to grow and be consistent is be consistent and be truthful to yourself. And
yes.
so I'm so glad that you have come to that point where you're just saying, you know what, hey, I don't know a lot about that, but I do know somebody that may be able to help you. And so then that's when you have freed up your time. Instead of now you have to go on, now you have to learn more content about something that you absolutely don't even care about just for the coin.
Exactly. And I feel personally, I feel like I'm doing people a disservice if I go out of my way to try and do something I know I'm not good at, or that I don't have enough information to do it on a high quality level. You got,
Yes.
so some people like, I'll fake it till I make it in that sense. Like faking it till you make it, like there's fake it till you make it, as in you see it in your mind and you consistently see it in your mind until it starts to come to fruition physically. And then there's fake it till you make it, like taking pictures of yourself getting out of a rented car.
Mm. Oh,
There's a difference.
Brent.
One of them is bad. I bet you can guess which one is.
I used to hear something in school that says, these two are like one another. Can you pick out the one? There's some song. I just forgot off the top
One
of
of
my
these things
head.
is not
One
like
of
the
these
other.
things is not like the other. Know how far you want to go. You never have to fake it. There's something to be said about, that you believe in it by faith. But when you believe in it by faith, you are actually working. Faith without works is dead. So you are doing something. You're not going to be able just to sit and say, I just believe it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. I don't care how long you're consistent in saying it's just going to happen. It's not going to just happen if you're
Yeah,
not
but
doing anything. You're not
yeah,
activated with your consistency. So say that one more time, Brandy. One of these things is not like the other.
one of these things is not like the other. So, something that we both find very important is staying motivated. So, I had to learn myself. I had to understand who I am in my core to understand what keeps me motivated. So, for me, what keeps me motivated is remembering what my ancestors have sacrificed, the life that I still had that my deceased brother haven't doesn't. Um, the sacrifices made by specific members of my family to even have me in a mindset and a position that I can even take this information in and use it and do what each new generation is supposed to do. Each new generation of a family is supposed to be better than the last.
Mm-hmm.
And when you conduct yourself with that in mind, you push a little bit harder, especially if you have parents that sacrificed for your behalf, whether it's to send you to a good school, whether it's to make sure you had food when they didn't, whatever it is. Somebody sacrificed something for you to even be looking at this video right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So those
Yes.
are the types of things that I use to motivate me on those days that I wake up. I'm like, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I don't feel good. Whatever it is, I remember
Yeah.
those things and I keep moving forward. Some days I don't get as much accomplished as others, but
Mm-hmm.
small steps are better than going nowhere.
Exactly. And you're still being consistent.
Yes.
You know, every time in life, we may not get a huge hooray or hurrah from people, but even those little small steps, as long as you are still in the boat, just stay in the boat, don't get out. And the other thing is that sometimes this is my character, this is my example. Sometimes you can be in the boat and you're doing your own thing, and then you look over a little bit too long, be like, I can do that, and no, you can't do that. Stop. Matter of fact, just come on right up in here. Now, whenever we talk about this analogy of the boat, and I'm not saying just to stay in the boat and don't explore and don't step out and create some additional goals. That's not what we're saying. What we are saying is that we're talking about consistency, just
Yes.
being consistent with what you are doing every single day, getting your planner out, whether it's on your device or you have an actual hard planner. Be consistent every single day. I was mentoring a young lady, and I said to her, on Sunday evenings, you take out whatever you're utilizing for a planner, and you project your entire week. Don't
Mm,
wait until Monday morning at 5 o'clock when you got your children trying to get ready for dress for school. You're trying to get dressed for work, and all of a sudden you're doing your calendar. You have to stay consistent. So on Sunday evenings, you're planning your work scholars, your work week. And so the things that motivate me are several things. My family motivates me to be able to say, listen, because I want, when I'm gone from this earth, which I believe is going to be a long, long time. But when I'm gone from this earth, I want my children and my children's children, because I want them to be able to say, my mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother, I'm doing this because I remember how she had to be consistent, how she had to adapt, how she went to school and got degrees. And even though she did that, she still ended up being an entrepreneur.
mm,
You know, when I have 7 children, 5 boys, 2 girls, so I have to be the example for my children, my daughters, and my sons, and for myself. I want to leave a great legacy for my children, but on this planet. It is important for me to know that I'm not just doing this for myself, because that's a selfish individual. So there are certain things that I know I just can't do,
mm-hmm.
because I want my children to be able to say, when they see me, they're like, oh, they see that book, they were like, this is my mama. I want them to be able to say, yep, that's my mama.
Absolutely. Again, I will say that when you think on a broader spectrum, like that, thinking about the impact that you can have not only on your family, but potentially put them in a position to have impact on others outside the family later on.
Yeah.
And that's something that, if you're just starting out, if you're one of the first ones, if not the first one in your family, seeking to do things differently, and you come from a family that has a background of destructive family cycles, and you're that first one that's like, this is going to change with me.
Mhm.
Do not
Mhm.
do not allow anyone to tell you that you're selfish if
Mhm.
you plan to focus on you and your household first. Because without a solid foundation at home, you can't function properly to help others. So you need
Mhm.
to focus on
Mhm.
you and your household first. Once that's solid, then look to spread out. Part of the
I
reason that it took me so long to begin to actually thrive and realize what my actual purpose and calling is because I was so worried about helping other people that wouldn't take time to help me if they were in the same position to help. I was so worried about not turning people away when I did actually have it, not
Mhm.
understanding that I didn't actually have it. What
Mhm.
I had and was giving away, my time, my energy, my money in some cases, was stuff, it was resources I was taking away from my household. So when you understand that and think about it, your last $20, say you're down to your last $20,
Mhm.
and you are approached with somebody that said that knows that's your last $20, but they're still going to ask you, can I have, can I borrow? And not only are they going to ask you, can I have, can I borrow?
Mhm.
They're actually get ready to use that money on something that isn't a necessity.
Mhm. Mhm.
Those are the people you need to cut out of your life the fastest when you make the decision to be the change in your family.
Mhm. Mhm. And Brandy, this is one of the things when we're talking about family too, is that one of the things I have said to all of my children is that, and my husband has said the same exact thing because we are so in one accord on this. I don't care if I'm in a meeting with a president of a company, if I am in a meeting with whomever. If you need me and it is an emergency and I'm in this
Hmm.
big meeting, you call me. I will make time because I think sometimes when we're doing so much and we're down to our last, if I had a choice to give my last to my daughter or Bria or my daughter Anna, I can guarantee you if it came between them two or any of my other children, versus some CEO or CFO, I can guarantee you hands down my children are going to get it. And that's one of the things that I always tell my children, is that never compromise yourself for the coin. Never compromise yourself because you are amongst an influencer. Family is very important. And I think we've gotten a little bit away from that. We haven't been consistent in
Mm,
teaching our children what is important. Fame and fortune is fine and it's great, but consistently, your family should be the number one uh, individuals that are important to you in your life. Because if you don't have family, you can't build a legacy. Who are you building a legacy for?
mm-hmm.
And for individuals that don't have children, don't want children, then you build a legacy for other people's children, your nieces, your nephews, so on and so forth. And so being consistent in everything that you do, waking up in the morning on time. You can't wake up at the morning, if you're waking up in the morning at the morning. Now, I'm not talking about to individuals. If you work third shift and you get off at 7 in the morning, yeah, you probably still should be asleep at 9 a.m. Okay. But if you are working let's say if you work a 9 to 5 and you're supposed to be at work at 9 o'clock, you cannot wake up at 8:15. It's not going to work. You got to be consistent. Be consistent in what you do, be consistent in what you view, and be consistent in how you think and how you change your mindset. Consistency is important, and it takes courage to be consistent, because a lot of individuals out here is just like, and it's not just about millenniums. People give millenniums a bad rap. I think millenniums are fantastic. They have such bravery, they have such courage, and they are so they are so creative. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what age you are. If you don't make up in your mind that you don't want to do a certain thing, consistency or not, you're not going to do it. So with consistency takes discipline, and you must be disciplined in order for you to reach and maintain the goal that you have set for yourself and your family.
Wonderful. All right. So I think we've done enough talking. What you think?
I think so too. I think
If you haven't realized it, we can literally go on for hours. But we hope you have enjoyed this topic. Of course, the topic was consistency, but with consistency comes several areas of life that are affected. So you got to hear about a little bit of everything. And again, if you are that person that has decided to make a change in your life, one, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Don't let anybody tell you that you're being selfish, because you know when you're actually being selfish. If you know you're doing it for all the right reasons, do you plug into a network, whether it's For the Love of Queens or Anntoinettemarie's group or any of the other groups that you get to see just watching these various videos. Plug in, join several groups, let go of the ones that you don't really vibe with, whatever it might be. But give yourself a way to reach out and have others that are going to help you on your journey, whether it's talking you through certain things, whether it's watching videos to learn different things, whether you get to a point that you're making enough money to hire you a coach, or if you can't find a coach that you can afford, get you a mentor. Mentors they're affordable, if not free. The only thing you need to provide, the only cost is time, consistency, and discipline. So plug in and make sure, hey, Raymond, how are you? Make sure you get it very clear in your mind exactly where it is you want to go. Don't worry about the how. Let God worry about the how. You just go with the flow. That's how that works. And be prepared for all hell to break loose when you make this decision, because that's how the devil works.
You're going to have some hurdles. You're going to have some hurdles. Just watch. Once you put it out in the atmosphere that that you have set this goal, I guarantee if you have set a goal for losing 10 pounds in the next month, I guarantee you tomorrow you're going to wake up with a headache, or tomorrow you're going to smell something that you just really love, French toast. I don't know. But you have to be determined that you're going to be disciplined enough to be consistent, because you have and you see what your greater goal is on the other side. Never give up. Never give up. Be consistent.
Raymond says, "You're not lying. Suit up.
Better suit up."
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, y'all. That's all we got for you today. We hope you enjoyed this installment of Woke Wednesday Live with the Brandy Johnson and Anntoinettemarie Williams. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop them. We will respond. If you're looking for a mentor and you want to start somewhere, start with me. If I'm not the mentor for you, I will point you in the right direction. So you can message
Absolutely.
me, drop a comment, and I'll reach out to you. Anntoinettemarie, you a mentor as well as a coach?
Absolutely. So one of the things I said this year was that I was only taking 20 clients as far as for coaching, because I want to continue to give my clients excellency when it comes to support. And so if you need a coach, which I've said before, coaching and mentoring is two different things.
Yes.
If you're looking for a mentor, I can do that as well. My main goal is as a trainer, I want to be able to train the masses on how you can, live the abundance of life that you want to live, but also not to let go of your family. There's a way to be able to do it, and people call it balance, but sometimes it's 50% here and 20% here. And so if you are an executive or emerging leader and you're looking for a trainer or you need a coach in your own life, give me a call, shoot me an email, speak@AnntoinetteMarie.com, and my website is AnntoinetteMarie.com as well.
Excellent. So that's all we got for you today, guys. Be sure to tune in. Real Talk Thursday. I'm still trying to peg down a time. Tomorrow, I'm going to actually try morning, and I'm going to do, let's call it 9 a.m. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to be reviewing, get it all the way right by my coach and coaches, I should say, Doc and Winter Bobo. So tune in, 9 a.m. Eastern, and we'll see how it goes from there. Otherwise, this will be streaming live. Well, I should say, we will be doing a watch party slash premiere at 8 p.m. of this video for those of you that are unable to jump on live right now. So all of you that
Today.
absolutely thank you for your time. Thank you for taking time to jump on. And we hope you enjoyed today. So
Bye.
later.